I thought of sharing a few ideas in a very brief note on what took place at Jaffna University on the night of 8th January, when a memorial put up by the community to commemorate people who died, the community that perished during the closing stages of Sri Lanka's civil war, was demolished, destroyed through the deployment of the state military under the agreement of the university administration and under the aegis of the University Grants Commission. Now, as someone who is concerned about community and public memory, and also as someone who has a reading of Sri Lanka's conflict and the post-war decade, I must say that I am astonished that what took place in the way it did. In the middle of the night, against the run-off play, because in the last decade or so, people have had different ideological opinions, and due to those ideological differences, their approaches have been different. But people from top administration, government level, right down the hierarchy, then again people at the ground level, the grassroots level, they have been moving towards one common goal, which is reconciliation. People have wanted peace. The way they have approached this matter of peace would have been different, but peace is what people have been driving towards. And then comes this. In the 12th year after the war, right as we enter a new decade of what would have been this ongoing struggle for a lasting solution to the problems in the North, this extremely inexplicable, unexplainable in so many ways, queer, odd, out of place incident, which is, I would say, not even, which I say shouldn't even be a priority at a time like this when Sri Lanka is fighting a pandemic, when one assumes there are bigger concerns, both for people in administration, also in people who are in education. And then this happens. It happens in a way where it leaves enough room for one to speculate whether the demolition of this memorial is actually a ploy to distract or to create a smoke screen for maybe other activities with a political intent. Now, if that is the case, that is very lamentable, if that is the case. So soon after the demolition of the memorial, UGC chairman Sampath Amaratunga had made a statement to media. Several media channels carried this statement. My source is morning.lk, the web version of the Morning. Amaratunga says a few interesting things. I want to draw one idea into this discussion. And I'm paraphrasing him. He says something like, the passage we are going through right now, what we need is not war memorials, but memorials of peace. A very, very subtle, nonsensical demarcation Amaratunga makes, because in the first place, no one had qualified what is in Jaffna University, what was in Jaffna University, as a war memorial. And Amaratunga, the state-appointed chairman of the UGC, kind of a mouthpiece of the state at this point, courtesy of his office, he is making this statement in a context where in the northern province alone, Jaffna alone, there are so many memorials put up post-war. And these memorials are sponsored by the state, they are put up by the military, and whether they constitute war memorials or peace memorials, that's a discussion we shouldn't get into because of one reason. Because what constitutes war, what constitutes peace, this is the prerogative of the persons in power, the persons in authority. But our concern is reconciliation. And I would like to say reconciliation is something that lies beyond this petty divide of winning or losing a war. It has something to do with the emotions of the people, the dignity that you afford to the dead of a community, and the meaningful ways in which you would accommodate the memory of those dead as you move along as a united or unified community. And this demolition has been an assault on that sense of dignity of the community. That is the point. So I would say if there is no political motive, if there is no ulterior agenda behind this demolition act, this has to be reversed just now. Any person in high administration with sanity, with some kind of sobriety, you need to reverse this, because this is definitely getting in the way of the healing process and the way we communicate from the South to the sensibility of a community that had lost thousands in the face of war. And this is right now a situation where society has been eroded at so many different fronts, including an ongoing struggle by Sri Lanka's Muslim community over the past 10 months to win rights of burial, which is due to their dead. And this comes on top of that, where we have two ethnic and cultural groups being handed an assault almost at the same time. This is definitely unprecedented, and where I stand, this sends a shockwave of concern for someone like me, an independent, who is looking over this very disturbing development.